if you were to print, like 3D print a human body with cells and chemicals, and you wouldn't be able to necessarily print it with chemicals very easily. It'd have to be submerged into organ structures where it was submerged in body fluid. So you have to do each organ separately, and as it grew, it would have to adapt. And here's the biggest problem with this, is that if you try to print these things, they're going to have malconnective parts. Okay, they're going to have errors in the chemical connections. And what that leads to is that you cannot print a human body without some form of error, which is questionable if there are errors in human bodies and if there is a perfect way to print a human body or not. But, like, what would a human be if you could print it, is the question you might ask. But, like, it has to be separate as different organs, and then they have to be sewn together, and then they have to do an adaptation healing process, and it doesn't look good to try to print a human body. However, you might be able to print organs and add it into a human being. Now that you might be able to do, but there's a healing process for that. So we could take regular humans that were naturally born and put new organs in them, possibly. That might be a thing. But just to fire up a human from the printer, I don't think that's going to be very logical. There's going to be too many malconnections. So, like, but printing certain organs, probably a possible thing to do. One of the hardest things that would be to produce, though, is quite possibly the human brain. Now, printing a human brain, I would say that you might be able to get some type of brain, but the accuracy of that brain is very questionable if there was ever such an accurate human brain. Like I said again here, you're going to have malconnections. And there's a healing process if that's even possible for that malconnection to even work. It's like a broken electronic circuit. If that circuit is broken in lots of different places, it's really not going to be very good at working and doing what it's supposed to do. So, like, there are certain things you could never print in the human body, probably, because of the difficult ability that the geometry and the vectors are, which some things you might be able to print. We're not sure yet. So the question, but we're probably going to say that it's really difficult to line up all the connections of a tissue. So malconnected tissue, or malconnections of a tissue, can lead to detrimental biological consequences. So, the healing process, though, now could you inject stem cells or mitotic cells into different organ tissues and cause them to naturally adapt and cause them to produce certain chemicals that are required for your life? Yeah, they already do some of this. They may be able to print certain organs as well. Now, they won't be identical to your original organ, most likely, but the geometry, if it works, it works. So that's replaceable humans. But your brain is most likely one of the most difficult things. That would be a more critical point of surgery, and other tissues in the body might be pretty critical, but generally a lot of your organs and tissues are not as critical as, like, say, your brain, or maybe a liver, or your pancreas, or your lungs, or your kidneys, or some of your other tissues, like how you make blood. Your your blood isn't as difficult. You can probably figure that out eventually. But like nervous bindings to the muscle tissues and things like that, that requires pretty serious engineering, if it's even possible. So you're going to struggle a lot to get like all of your organs printed, and a lot of them will not be able to be done. You could not print a whole human body, most likely. If you did, it'd be some kind of alien creature that was pretty strange. And but healing the organ structures in a variety of ways by using cells and chemicals, and potentially printing some organs, is possibly ethical. It might be. Needs more research for sure. I wouldn't go betting on it, but in certain organs they have declared that they have printed successfully. They're working on this, and certain tissues. I mean, but basically, a lot of this is about quantum biochemical connections, and that's what it is. The root of human life is biochemical connectivity. And that's what it is. And next to that is the energy from the universe all around you. And we call this the matrix. There's two different kinds of matrices. There's the simulation of a machine matrix, and then there's reality in the form of particles. So you got two options there. But the matrix in reality is all about subatomics and atomics, and their connections and how they interact.